Welcome to this episode of Moving Forward Leadership. Stick around and learn how to achieve, excel, and become a leader that people willingly follow. Lead, don't boss. And now, here's the host of our show, Chief Leadership Officer, Scott McCarthy.
Yes, it is your Chief Leadership Officer, Scott McCarthy, and welcome to your Monday Leadership Minute, where we get raw, we get gritty, we get to the point about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, or something which you, the listener, has asked for me to talk about. And today, it is going to be a listener show, a listener question, shot in by Mark M. Thanks, Mark, for your question. So great to hear from you. But before I dive into it, if this is your first time catching the podcast, don't worry. This is just one of two podcasts that get released every week. If you want a bigger show and more of an interview style, I got you covered. Those get released Wednesdays. And this week, we got a great show lined up with an incredible story with a guy named Nelson Tressler. So be on the lookout for that one. Anyway, Mark was asking me about managing expectations, about us as leaders, how we can manage our own expectations of ourselves and our people. And it's so important because sometimes, we have these expectations, both of ourselves and of our people, and they just don't get met. And the first thing I want to throw at you, I'm going to, chop this kind of up in half here. So let's talk about managing your expectations in regards to your people. So when you're managing your expectations with your people, did you actually communicate those expectations or did you not? See, there's something called what they refer to as the silent contract out there, where I have expectations of you, but I never tell you of said expectations. Therefore, I still hold you account to those expectations without you ever knowing about them. Sounds pretty crazy when we say it out loud, but we do it all the time. So as leaders, we need to get away from that. We need to set those expectations. And I don't mean in a dictatorish type of way of, you must have these things in at this deadline, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, I expect this to be done by such and such a time, within these parameters. If you can't do that, then come back to me. Let's have a conversation and we'll revisit, right? Simple, to the point, yet effective, all right? Again, just line them out, what you expect, the timeline involved with it, and then the ability for your subordinates to come back to you, not necessarily challenge you, but have a conversation around those expectations if they're unable to meet them, so that you can turn around and reset new expectations. Or maybe you hold them account for the ones you had already set for good reasons. But needless to say, at least the conversation gets made and done. All right, so let's talk about expectations on yourself as a leader, because we do that to ourselves all the time. I am super guilty of doing this all the time. And what I mean is feeling like I've let my team down, feeling like I didn't do enough as a leader, feeling like I am not setting myself up, my people up, my organization up for success. And yes, I know I do everything I can, believe me, but yet I still feel like that. And why? Because if you're listening to this show, you're listening to me talk, you've been listening to me for over 4 years now, 200 complete episodes plus going of this podcast, you know that we go after it. We're frothy. We're motivated. We are those A-types that want to lead well, and we want to make us, our teams, and our organizations better, hence the moving forward aspect of the name of the podcast. So we always have expectations on ourselves, and we go after it, that A-type personality, and sometimes we just don't meet them. Sometimes we fall flat on our face. Sometimes we get tripped up. Sometimes we didn't plan properly, or we didn't pivot at the right time, or pivot at all. There are 50 million reasons out there why we don't meet up to our expectations, yet we hold ourselves to gunpoint. I am telling you, as a leader, sometimes you just need to give yourself some grace. Sometimes crap happens and we mess up. Sometimes, as leaders, we cannot predict everything. Do what you can with the information you got in front of you. Make the best decisions possible. Empower your people. Move forward towards that objective. That's, as leaders, what we need to do. However, when we don't do that, we, have our expectations not met. And as I said, give yourself a grace. Believe in yourself. Understand that, yes, I did everything I could. We didn't do it. I didn't do it. Whatever. What can I learn from this? How can I apply what I learned? And how can we ensure that this doesn't happen again moving forward? And you know what? That is a sign of a true leader out there, because there is nothing perfect out in the world. We will always mess up something. We will always make mistakes. There will be no plan perfectly executed. But if you manage to review it, figure out what went wrong, why it went wrong, how you can fix it, how you can assure that doesn't happen again, you're on the right track. And that's how you can manage your expectations too, because all of a sudden you're no longer beating the crap out of yourself as a leader, because you are taking the right steps in adjusting to the situation. All right, folks, I hope that sits well with you today. I hope that you have a rocking week as we wind down. We are getting close to the end of 2020. I can hear the praises and the cheers already. So take care. Love you all to death. It's fantastic being here behind this microphone for you. And remember, as always, lead, don't boss. Take care now.